Employment law is a broad term defining the rights of employees and employers. You should bring with you all the papers that you have that are related to the matter, if it's an overtime claim, check stubs, job description, that sort of thing. The most common violations of Illinois law are overtime violations where employers do not pay workers time and a half. Well, one of the things about the federal and state overtime laws is that they're often violated by employers who would rather, if they get caught, pay up and do the right thing in the first place. And that's an area where if an employee hasn't been paid their overtime, that they should certainly contact an attorney. Typically, the owner of the business or the supervisor are not sued in employment cases. Overtime laws are the exception because the laws provide, both state of Illinois and federal law provide that the person who directs the employment, who sets the terms of employment, sets wages, can be liable. In terms of violations of employment law, there's always a statute of limitations that the person has to be aware of. And sometimes the statute of limitations are fairly short. For instance, under Illinois law, when it comes to employment discrimination, a charge of discrimination needs to be filed within 180 days of the violation, or rights under the Illinois law will be forfeited. Under Illinois law, the employment at will rule is that a person can be fired for good reason, bad reason, or no reason. Exceptions to the employment at will rule, and among those exceptions are employment discrimination. An employer cannot, for instance, discriminate on the basis of sex, and sexual harassment under federal law is a form of sex discrimination. So if a case goes to court, in federal court, typically cases at the trial level are disposed of within a 2-year period. It may be less time if the judge pushes the case hard. It may be more like a year. It all depends on the interactions of the lawyers and if settlement can be discussed early.